What the heck's going on here, Dad? I thought this ministry was able to rectify all this problem and the first grand jury thing went away.
Well, call them again and see if they can interpret this subpoena. Do you have any more patients today?
Yeah, two. Hey, listen, could you contact the ministry and maybe fax them the paperwork? Maybe they can pull some of those words out. They're really good at doing that. Why don't you do that?
Yes, well, we got the first one dropped. I wonder why they're targeting dentists. I got a call from Jerry. Actually, I got a message from him last week. Said that he and 3 other dentists had got target letters.
Everybody's being targeted, Dad.
Well, if anyone can stop this, Veronica can. She did it on the last one. Hey, wait a minute. This one's different. This one asks us to bring our books and our records.
Well, you must have learned something at that workshop. The way you pick up the words and phrases, key things like that. Hey, wait a minute. This one is different. Yeah, it's got stuff in here it didn't have in before. You're right. The last one didn't ask us for this.
Okay, that's good. Now, I can give Veronica a call and see if what we found is significant. What time is your last appointment? So I can let you know what's happening.
I think my last one's a crown at 3:30.
Okay.
You did well, Edward. You're getting gooder. Did Richard get that one too?
Yes, he did. And I noticed a request for books and records on his too.
Brilliant. Very good of you to notice that. Remember what we did to get the last one stopped was agree with them. Tell them that we intended to fully cooperate, and as long as they agreed to accept the prepaid exemption account.
Yes, and I remember something to the presiding judge.
It was to the presiding judge because there wasn't a case yet, remember? No case, no judge assigned, so we did the full acceptance of the subpoena to the grand jury and the presiding judge, and telling him that since the grand jury is an arm of the court, the judge should know about our attempts to settle.
Oh yeah, about that. My son looked up the case citation, OK Corporation versus Williams, and it was pretty clear that everyone who has an issue or a claim has to attempt private settlement before they can go to court. That has got to be the best kept secret from the American people I've ever seen. And we've offered settlement.
Think about it, what I did in that first letter rogatory. We agreed the straw man owed the debt for the privilege of doing business on their cow's teeth. We asked them to put together an assessment, and we'd cover it with the prepaid exemption account. And we'd show them that the treaties where the high contracting parties to the war treaties agreed to pay the debts of their enemies and their nationals. We asked the judge to make sure that the debt, in whatever amount the IRS decided, could be offset that way. Otherwise, it would be involuntary servitude if no one could discharge that debt now that the money was taken out of this country in 1933. He was between a rock and a hard place. They never went ahead.
Then what is this subpoena exactly?
It's them giving us exactly what we asked for, Edward. Just like that movie, Nanny McPhee. Remember where the children pretend to get sick and then she makes them really sick so they kind of get a double dose?
But how did we ask them to look up, to look at our books and our records?
We said, look, we don't have access to all the records of that fictional entity that you charge with public fees. Remember, no government agent can come after living people, which is why they created the straw man. Since they're after that exemption, they're testing you to see if you'll give it up. And they keep all kinds of records. You can't possibly know about all of those.
Oh, yeah. That case you told about, my son and I about the 33-year-old woman chiropractor whose IMF file said she was selling drugs in Puerto Rico and is collecting a railroad pension? Absolutely amazing, isn't it?
It's them telling us that the straw man isn't really us and to go out and educate ourselves, which is what my ministry is doing. Look, it's all a test, and once we pass that test, they will leave us alone.
Okay, so how do we handle this one? Why haven't they left Richard and I alone?
We told them we don't care how much the assessment was, right? And we told them to do the assessment because we didn't have all of the books and the records on the straw man character that they created. We wanted them to put together the total amount and make sure it was accurate. That's what they're doing. That's all. They are carrying out what we told them to do. Remember, they have to swear that they've included all of the books and records because we can't possibly know them in the light of that IMF file, which we don't have access to. And you have to be careful about asking for it also, because they're only permitted to send their records to the person named on the record. If you ask for it, they presume that you are the person named on the record, that you are the straw man, and may even make you prove it by sending in a driver's license or something with your name on it, and that'll have your name in capital letters.
So they are doing what we asked them to do? They're doing a full acceptance?
Yes, look at it this way. They are collecting all of the records on the straw man, and apparently they believe that you have some.
We do. We do, I guess.
Absolutely you do. The straw man operates as a dentist. You operate on their cows, so they feel they have a right to keep a check on you. There's no problem with that. However, I have a good idea on how to handle this.
I sure hope so. I don't want to give them any records so they can use them against us.
Okay, check this out. Where did you get your records from?
What do you mean? Do you mean the kind of records I'd normally use to do my income taxes?
Yes, did they come from your office manager?
Usually, yes.
Does she get them from the accountant, who gets them from the hygienist, who gets them from the supplier, who gets them from the manufacturer? You see where I'm going with this?
I think so.
It's just hearsay. A got the information from B, who got the information from C, who got it from D, and so on. Is it reliable? Hardly. Everyone who created these records is based on what someone else said. Unless each one of them is willing to testify under their full commercial liability to the accuracy of what they've produced, the IRS has got nothing, even if you give them every record you've got. With affidavit, of course.
Wow, can we do that?